Welcome to this session on analyzing the massing model. So you've now created a parametric stacking model where you can control the physical dimensions of the building mass, such as the width and the overall height of the building, but also the floor-to-floor heights of the different floors and the number of floors. But there also might be data in the model that you'd like to keep an eye on as you make changes to the model. And we can do this with a watch node. So for instance, it would be nice to know the total floor area of the model as changes were being made. So in order to do this, first we'll need to define each floor as a closed shape. Now we did this in a previous session and we're going to use the same methodology. So I'm going to go over to my node types and I'm going to drag and drop a curved node onto the graph. And I'm going to rename this node as plate lobby. So this will be the floor plate for the lobby floor. And we're going to use that technique of plane solid intersection. Now we basically want to take the floor plane at the lobby level and intersect it with that form that makes up the lobby mass. So for the plane, we can link that input to the floor lobby floor coordinate system. However, what this input needs is a plane, and we've connected a coordinate system. I'm going to go ahead and open this in the script editor. But every coordinate system has a series of planes, the XY plane, the YZ plane, and the XZ plane. So we just simply need to get that output. So I'm going to type in another dot, stop typing XY, select the XY plane, and I can apply that. And then we're going to link the solid to intersect back to our form lobby node. And now that should create a closed shape. Put your cursor over the node, it'll actually highlight in the model, makes it a little easier to see. So now we're going to do the same for the next group of floors, which are the guest room floors. So I'm going to take this node, the plate lobby, and I'll copy it, and I'm going to paste. And we're going to call this plate GR for guest room. So I'm going to hover over the wire that's connected to the plane input. I'll right click and I'm going to disconnect this wire from the floor lobby floor coordinate system. And I want to now connect it to the floor guest room floor coordinate system. And again, I'm going to open that up. I would actually added that, so let me delete this out here. And we want the floor guest room floor coordinate system. I'm going to type in the dot and again put the XY plane. And now we'll apply that. Now we also need to change the solid to intersect. So again, I'm going to hover over that wire and disconnect it from the form lobby. And we're going to connect that to the form GR, or form guest room. If I hover over that one now, we can see it has created the floor plates at the guest room floors, and now I just have the penthouse floors remaining. So again, I'm going to copy the plate GR node. I'm going to paste that onto the graph, and I'm going to rename this one as plate PH for penthouse. Now my plane can be the same. I still want the guest room floors. However, in this case, I do need to specify that I only want the last two guest room floors. So again, I'm going to put my cursor at the end of that line. Again, I'm going to now start typing in last, and then in parentheses we'll put 2. So it's going to select the last 2 floor planes. We'll apply that. And of course we have to change the solid to intersect. So I'm going to disconnect from the form GR and connect it to the form PH. And that created the 2 floor plates for the penthouse level. So I've now defined all the floor plates within the mass, And I'm going to go ahead over to the transactions. I'm going to record those additions. I'm going to go back to my node types, and now I'm going to place that watch node. So under the utility group, there's a watch node. I'm going to drag and drop that onto the graph. And I'm going to rename this watch as GFA, the gross floor area. Now each of these plate nodes is going to have an output for area. So I'm going to go to the plate lobby. I'm going to pin that area output to the graph, and I'm going to link it back to my value. Now, when I go to the guest room plates, I'm going to again select the outputs. If I were to select the area output, that's actually the area of one floor plate. There will be a second output, which would be the total area. So that's all those floor plates which make up the node added together. So we're going to use that one. So I'm going to link total area again to the value input. And I can do the same for the penthouse, the plate pH. Again, we're going to use total area since there's more than one floor plate that makes up that list. Now you can see here that's just listing those three values. What I need is to add those values together. So I'm going to open that up in the script editor. And we can take off the curly brackets and the commas, and we're just going to put plus sign in instead. I'll apply that. And you can see that puts the value in there. Now it does carry it out to 10 places, 10 decimal places. So perhaps we want to round that off, and we could use the round function in this case. So I'm just going to type in round and then put a parentheses. And we just basically put a parentheses around the entire equation so that it rounds the result. And we'll select apply. And now that becomes 62309. And if I were to go to my control panel, you'll see the watch is listed there as well. So now as I adjust any of these sliders, we'll see the changes to the gross floor area. So let me go ahead and record that transaction, and then we'll make some changes. So for instance, if I were to increase the height of the building, let's take it up to 150 feet, and then update the model. And then you can see it has updated the gross floor area, so we know exactly how much gross floor area we have in the building. I could make another change, such as increasing the width, the guest room width. We'll just add a foot to it, but obviously that's going to have an effect on our gross floor area. And we can see that change immediately. So we now have a fairly simple stacking model, but it gives us the ability to look at a lot of different design scenarios because we can change the form of the arc by moving the points. We can change the overall width of the building. We can change the overall height, which in turn changes the number of floors. And as we're making those changes and modifications to the model, we get the immediate feedback on the gross floor area.
If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. If you want to see more such series, consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you, and see you next time.